All right, y'all. So now let's move on and let's get into this Kandi Burruss news because Miss Mamas is being sued for not paying her back rent on one of her restaurants. So shout out to you, Miss Mamas. Oh, and I heard a recent thing about what the hell's her name? Kim Zolciak was doing an interview with Kristen Cavallari, and she was laying out some crocodile tears over her and Croy. But this is not about them. Let's get into this. So apparently, Kandi and I believe her husband Todd is facing a new lawsuit because they haven't been paying a rent at her Blaze Steak and Seafood restaurant on Cascade Road in Southwest Atlanta. So the landlord of Burruss's restaurant, Blaze Steak and Seafood, has filed a suit against the former Real Housewives of Atlanta personality and her restaurant groups, alleging they owe about $154,000 in past due rent and other charges and did not maintain the property under terms of their lease. Now, according to a complaint filed by Fulton County State Court, Burruss and the restaurant companies breached the lease by failing to pay certain charges when they became due and failing to maintain the premises. The amount of defendants owe includes about $56,500 for repairs to the premise and a 10% overhead fee. Neither Burruss nor the company of legal counsel immediately responded to requests for comment on Wednesday or Thursday morning, saying the landlord of the property is Montego Pacific Inc., a corporation registered in California. Reps for Montego declined to comment. Property manager Bridger Properties did not respond to a request for comment. Now, Burruss, one of the longest serving cast members on RHOA, opened Blaze along Cascade Road in Southwest Atlanta in 2020 with her husband, Todd Tucker. The restaurant is one of two full-time restaurants the couple owns because, of course, they have Old Lady Gang. But here's the thing. We're going to talk about this. Didn't people say the food nasty? Look, Tamar Braxton said the food nasty, and quiet as it's kept, there's a lot of people from Atlanta said the food's not good, and the fact that they only go and there's the service is bad and all kinds of other stuff. I don't know if this is the same situation, but I'm like, if you running your Old Lady Gang the way you are running Blaze, I would not be surprised. But I definitely want to hear in the comments if Blaze is doing, what y'all experiences was eat that Blaze. But if she is withholding payments, it probably is due to the upkeep of the place. Maybe there was issues with the place that she's renting out. Maybe there's issues with the plumbing. Maybe there's issues with like things are falling apart up in there, and she's trying to get the landlord to handle what they need to be handling, and they not doing what needs to be done. So she's like, if it comes down to it, I'm not going to give y'all a dime until things get worked on in this place. So maybe that's the reason why she's withholding money and hasn't been paying her rent. So they said the lawsuit doesn't specify if Blaze is still operational. The restaurant's social media pages haven't been updated in months. Its website displays different hours from Yelp, and the website Resy no longer allows users to make reservations. So is it still in business or no? Because the way he's sounding like it might not be in business anymore. One review on TripAdvisor posted in July said she discovered the restaurant was closed after she received a text message confirming her reservations for that night. The most recent health inspection score for the restaurant that the Atlanta Journal-Constitution could find is dated December 2023. There was no signage of the restaurant indicating it has closed, and an AJC reporter on Tuesday noticed some signs of life scattered around the premises. So what are y'all talking about? So is it open or not? Or is it the fact that you got squatters hiding out in the restaurant? They said 2 half-full Starbucks cups and a cleaning rag were observed on the bar. Unfurled napkins were on tables, but the windows were dirty and the faux grass affixed to walls of the outdoor patio appears to be peeling off. Burruss and her companies owe rent on the property through March, according to a billing statement included in the complaint. The complaint includes multiple invoices from 2 restoration companies dated between September and October. One totaling $29,235 is for repairs following microbial remediation in the kitchen and prep area. Another totaling around $24,580 is for repairs related to water damage. Another totaling $17,390 is for remediation because of visible microbial growth throughout the kitchen and prep area. Child, you would not pay me enough money in the world to eat at that place. I wonder if Keith Lee actually ate there. Because remember, he's been giving reviews of people's stuff, And it don't be too kind. And people get mad at him over that. But I'm like, look, it ain't his fault that he way more entertaining than these actual food critics. Don't hate the player, hate the game is what I say. So they said there's also another invoice totaling $4,734 for restoration and remodeling related to water damage. The invoice is dated to July of 2024. So this is not the first time Blaze Steak and Seafood has faced issues from conditions of the kitchen. About 4 years ago, the restaurant received a health inspection score of, not 55, which is considered a failure. Blaze shut down, and me working in the restaurant business, yeah, they absolutely right. Like once upon a time, yeah, I did work in a restaurant. Blaze, 55 is bad. Blaze shut down to address the issue. The inspector cited and reopened 2 days later. The low score was an accumulation of largely minor issues such as pink organic residue in ice makers, a Chick-fil-A cup in an area with regular food supplies, and a food handler switching from raw seafood to ready-to-eat foods without washing hands. Now, if y'all end up with any kind of disease, a little salmonella or whatever the case is, like I said, I didn't read this article. I'm reading it in real time along with y'all. You couldn't pay me enough to eat in any place that Kandi is running. And it's no shade. I'm just saying, like, there's been so many bad things said about her in regards of her restaurants and stuff. And this is another thing that I don't like either. I'm not sick of these celebrities running around jumping into businesses that they don't have any experience in or know anything about. If you don't know about the food industry, food and bev industry, don't jump into an industry because you think, oh, it'd be so cute for me to run a restaurant. But if you're not following the simple protocols, especially when it comes to like OSHA, food, your food handlers license that you should be having, if you're going to be dealing with food, yeah, you do need to wash your hands. You should not be using the same gloves to go transitioning from rawness to cooked stuff. You need to take the gloves off, wash your hands, switch the gloves to a new pair of clean gloves. Make sure your hands is washed, as I said before. Don't be touching your face. Don't use your apron to wipe your face or whatever the case is, because that's germs. Like, don't do crazy stuff like that. That's how you lose points. So you would think they would know this, but they don't. So the restaurant's most recent health score data in late 2023 is 93, according to the records of the Georgia Department of Public Health. So under the terms of the lease included in the complaint, the tenant must perform all maintenance as well as make and pay. Oh, so that's what it is. So I thought it might have been an issue, like, okay, the place falling apart. She should have been doing, I think maybe she thought, I guess I actually don't, because I don't know. I never dealt with that aspect of it. I wasn't somebody that was running a restaurant or whatever the case is. So I don't know what those situations is. I didn't know that she was going to have to foot the bill. But I guess that is what it is. If you own a business, you have to foot the bill to fix whatever is fixing around it, because your whole goal is you are renting the space. So, and it's the same thing like if you work in Madison Square Garden, we're providing you the space. You bring in the stage equipment, the electronic equipment, the speakers, the lights, the pyro. We provide the space where you can put the pyro, but you got to bring the pyro and the fire and all that other stuff in, the confetti. That's all you. And I think that's the same thing with this place. You were renting the spot. You have to fix all this stuff. So maybe what it was with Kandi, and she be out here hustling hard. Maybe she got in over her head where you're opening 2 restaurants and not realizing that, yeah, you got to, any kind of thing that breaks down, and that's like if you're going to own a home, you have to find the money to fix whatever issue you have in your house. Same thing with a business. So yeah, so they said, that she had to pay for all repairs to the premises. If the tenant fails to make repairs, the landlord can do so, but the tenant must reimburse them for all costs incurred with an additional 10% overhead charge. The lease also allows the landlord to recover a late fee of 5% of the past due amount each time the tenant fails to pay rent and other charges by the first day of the month. All sums remaining unpaid, when due, accrue interest of 12% per year. According to the complaint, the landlord is allowing the defendants to avoid liability to pay the landlord's attorney fees and other expenses of litigation by paying the past due rent within 10 days of the date then they were served. Damn, Kandi, this sounds messy. Well, all I can say on this is good luck. Cause this is way out my jurisdiction, but hopefully you work it out, sis. So I say all this to say, what do you guys think of this story in regards to all? Because I'm like, I didn't realize it was this messy. So whatever your thoughts are, let me know in the comments down below.